Welcome back to Kings of United States. Today, we're diving deep into the legendary life of Steve Martin, a man who can make you laugh, think, and feel, sometimes all at once. A true American treasure, Stephen Glenn Martin is not just a comedian. He's a force of nature, who carved out an enduring legacy in comedy, film, music, and beyond. He's an actor, writer, producer, and musician whose name has been synonymous with clever wit, intellectual humor, and timeless charm for more than 5 decades. From his stand-up comedy roots to his dazzling banjo performances, Steve Martin's journey is a masterclass in how to evolve as an artist without losing the magic that made you in the first place. Born on August 14, 1945, in Waco, Texas, Steve Martin was raised in Southern California. His father was a real estate salesman and an aspiring actor, and although their relationship was sometimes strained, young Steve found inspiration from the world of entertainment early on. His first job was selling guidebooks at Disneyland, where he became fascinated by the magic of performance. He would watch magicians, jugglers, and comics for hours, memorizing their routines and dreaming of one day standing in front of a crowd and commanding the stage. That dream started to become real during his teen years, when he began performing magic tricks and banjo tunes in local coffee shops. But it wasn't just about tricks or jokes for Steve, it was about crafting an experience. He didn't want to just perform, he wanted to change the way people laughed. He studied philosophy at California State University, and during this time, Martin began to shape the unique comedic style that would eventually revolutionize stand-up. Influenced by absurdism and anti-humor, he ditched the punchline format and leaned into the unexpected. Wearing a white suit, wielding a fake arrow through his head, and making jokes about nothing at all, Steve Martin's stand-up was unlike anything people had seen before. By the mid-1970s, he was selling out arenas, a feat almost unheard of for a stand-up comedian at the time. Steve's comedy albums like Let's Get Small and Oh Wild and Crazy Guy became huge hits, earning him Grammy Awards and cult status. And then, just as he seemed to be reaching the peak of comedy fame, he walked away from stand-up entirely. Why? Because Steve Martin has always been more than one thing. Hollywood came calling, and Steve Martin answered with a bang. His early film roles in movies like The Jerk showcased his gift for physical comedy, wordplay, and characters that walked the line between foolish and genius. But it wasn't long before Martin began to show the world he was also a serious actor, capable of emotional depth and nuanced performances. He starred in a string of hit films throughout the 1980s and 1990s, including Roxanne, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Parenthood, Father of the Bride, and L.A. Story. Whether he was playing a hopeless romantic, a frazzled dad, or a man trying to find meaning in a chaotic world, Steve brought something unique to every role. And while the laughs were always there, his characters resonated with audiences because they felt real. But his creativity didn't stop at comedy and acting. Steve Martin is also an accomplished writer, penning screenplays, essays, novels, and memoirs. His writing is as sharp as his stand-up, often blending humor with introspection. His memoir Born Standing Up is widely regarded as one of the best books ever written about the art of comedy and performance. And then there's the music. Steve Martin is a world-class banjo player, winning multiple Grammy Awards for his work in bluegrass. He has collaborated with top musicians like Eddie Brickell and the Steep Canyon Rangers, bringing traditional American music to new audiences with the same passion he brought to his comedy. It's no exaggeration to say that his impact on the banjo is nearly as significant as his impact on comedy. He's made appearances on major stages and even composed music for film and television. His love for the banjo began in his youth, and instead of treating it like a hobby, he nurtured it until it became a second career. This dual legacy, comedy and music, makes Steve Martin one of the rare entertainers who have achieved greatness in two completely different art forms. What's also remarkable is his ability to stay relevant. In an era where many stars fade, Steve Martin remains a beloved and respected figure. He's even found new life in television, starring alongside Martin Short and Selena Gomez in the hit series Only Murders in the Building, which introduced him to a new generation of fans. His performance in the show is funny, yes, but also deeply human. It's a perfect example of how Martin's work continues to evolve, touching hearts and making people laugh no matter the decade. Beyond the spotlight, Steve Martin is known for his humility and intellect. He rarely courts controversy, instead focusing on his art and his audience. He's hosted the Academy Awards, appeared on Saturday Night Live dozens of times, and received honorary Oscars and Lifetime Achievement Awards. Yet he still manages to seem like the guy next door, sharp, friendly, and a little quirky. He's also a devoted family man and private individual who balances his career with his personal life. Steve Martin became a father for the first time in his 60s and often speaks about how the experience changed him. It's a testament to his willingness to grow, evolve, and embrace new chapters, even when others would have settled comfortably into retirement. But Steve Martin doesn't just create art, he supports it. He's a patron of the arts, a lover of literature, and an advocate for young talent. Through various scholarships and foundations, he's helping to ensure that the next generation of artists has the tools they need to succeed. His accolades are numerous: 5 Grammy Awards, an honorary Academy Award, the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, and a Kennedy Center honor, among others. But what really matters is not the trophies, it's the impact. Steve Martin has influenced comedians, writers, and musicians alike. His fearlessness, originality, and heart have inspired millions. He's living proof that you don't have to fit in to succeed. In fact, standing out might just be your greatest strength. Whether he's telling a joke, strumming a banjo, or acting in a drama, Steve Martin reminds us that art is about connection. It's about making people feel something: laughter, sadness, hope, joy. In a world that often feels cynical, Steve Martin brings sincerity. He's silly, but smart. Wild, but thoughtful. Funny, but real. His work transcends genre, medium, and era. And that's why he's more than a comedian, more than an actor, he's a storyteller. So the next time you see him, on screen, or hear his music, remember that you're not just watching an entertainer. You're witnessing a true American, original, someone who redefined what it means to make people laugh, and in doing so, helped us all feel a little more alive. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kings of United State for more inspiring stories and legendary journeys just like this one. See you in the next video.